Hey, we got Drewz Viewz here, back for a little Car Tuesday, reacting to them cartoons on Tuesday with Adventure Time, Fionna and Cake. Getting toward the end of the 10 episode season here today. I'm going to be watching episode 8, which is called Jerry. I know Jerry's a character in, Rick and Morty, obviously a classic Tom and Jerry. Long lineage of cartoon characters named Jerry. Don't know who it's going to be in this one. Presumably someone in the next universe they go into, the next multiverse. Last time they barely escaped the Vampire King, and in that world Marcy was a villain. That's world Simon had died before he found her, and was a father figure to her. She was adopted by the Vampire King and turned evil. And there was real world illusions, or real world, whatever it is, Fiona's world illusions with, of course, Gary and Marshall Lee. Marshall's mother being questionable, and he was trying to help out Gary in his burgeoning pastry mention. I finally maybe got the name there, even though I don't completely get it. Why it's called that? The mention part seems weird, but maybe it's a reference I don't get. But like pastry man, I'll just call him. Business off the ground, but Gary saw how his mom was treating him and decided he didn't want it that way, even with the good connection, so he dipped out. And they got their romance started. But anyway, back to the Fionna and Cake world. Fiona's really doubting herself now. Cake wanted to go ahead and try to take out the Vampire King, but Fionna second-guessed it, or she tried to stop her, and then it failed, obviously, and they were just barely able to escape. Like I said, that world's bubblegum was a real Snake Plissken vibe. Was falling off the cliff with that world's Marcy, so they weren't romantically entwined in that universe, but they still definitely had a thing going on. But yeah, I like the element of the episode with Bubblegum's whole team, and even a good Mertens, which was a novel, unlike the real one we know from Arfin's world. But yeah, but it was still a pretty dark ep. And who knows where it's going to go this time. I feel like Fionna and Cake will be at odds a little bit with each other based on what happened. We'll see what Simon gets up to. But yeah, it seems like also that was their last. I think they need to get a crown in this world because that was their last jump that they have available. Also, what's his name? The Scarab. He was hot on their trail again. He had a good plan to get ahead of them, but then he seemed to get pulled back by his bosses or whoever they are. So I wonder if that storyline will pick up. I assume it will, since we saw that happen last time. Maybe not in this episode, but yeah, maybe Jerry is the Scarab's boss. But anyway, I'm ready to roll on into this one. Let's go ahead and do it. Alright, I'm not sure completely what happened there at the end. Did Scrabby get into the lich there, or vice versa? Is it the lich died? It seemed like he was popped up there at the end. And then, so either way, him and Simon fell into some portal there, so I don't know where they're going. But he obviously got his boss, or his boss's boss, to let him continue that mission there. So I don't know who the big boss is. I don't know if it's a character we would have seen at any time before in Adventure Time or something. But yeah, anyway, most of this episode revolved around Simon and Betty's backstory, Cake and Fiona's being at odds with each other over what happened in the last episode, and of course this wasteland. It was great seeing BMO back, of course. Very darkly comic ending to him there. This version of him, I mean, I always love BMO. The voice is just so good. perfect combo of cute and funny overall, the character and the voice, everything, and being acting as Princess. Bubblegum was great, but the Lich, yeah, it was great to hear Ron Perlman, of course, and is one of the scariest characters around in any show, really. But I guess, yeah, he was saying he's bored, depressed, I don't know, or he said like in the past he would have killed the Ice Wizard for coming back, but he didn't do it this time. But again, yeah, he did do something at the end, seemingly, or did what Scarab did, to trigger his power or something when he didn't want to do it. I don't, yeah, again, I guess we'll see next time. So Fionna and Cake did end up making up though, and they jumped back in Sam's brain together there. So I guess that means they'll be back in their world. And is it going to be? I mean, clearly Kate didn't want to go back to a world where they're just where she's just a regular house cat, can't talk and have powers and everything. But before whatever happened at the beginning of the series, she wasn't like that anyway, though, right? It was just because of Simon being back to normal. So, and I guess he put the crown on, so he won't be normal. But I guess we'll see which way it goes. Maybe the crown will be knocked off him there. With whatever happens, we got to see where he ends up. Yeah. But I'm pretty excited to watch that next one now. But I guess the penultimate episode of season 1 here. But also, I'm wondering if this show get renewed. Maybe it has been announced yet if it would, but I hope it does, because assuming they don't wrap everything up. I mean, I hope they do wrap up to some degree with the season here, but I want obviously it to continue. But yeah, we got finally the full. I mean, we obviously had a lot of backstory and a regular adventure time on Simon and Betty, but we got more in terms of like how they actually met and their romance initially and stuff, so that was cute also. Even though, yeah, I guess it is like professor student, could be a little dicey, but they didn't, I guess he was supposed to be a young professor, not too clear, I guess, but you know, some good scenes there with him giving his lectures with all this. I guess he's kind of an Indiana Jones-esque, but people don't believe that there's these mythical things that Betty obviously did, and then they found that in Kyridian. Yeah, wow. Well, of course, that's the cause of all the trouble with the Lich and everything else, so yeah. This was definitely an episode where it was like kind of, we got the nadir for our heroes, or at least for Fionna and Cake, Fionna in particular, but now things are going back up seemingly, but the action is set forth for, I guess, the final 2 episodes. Yeah, like I said, I'm excited. Well, that should do it for me this time, though, and thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back next time for season 1 episode 9. I'm up out of here. Peace.
Let's hit the road.